All right, so this is the instructional video for the discard tray set. So this will be for discarding the weapons and the bunnies, and on the etched version, there will actually be etches on these two back walls here on the internal portion of that. So you just want to be mindful to keep those on the inside when you're assembling it, so you can actually see what to discard in it. Like anything else, we're recommending you glue it, and that's just where in all the valleys when you're popping things together, you put glue on that and just put it in there and wipe the glue clean afterwards. It really helps keeping these things together. Some of them are tighter fits than others. The tighter fit ones may stay together. The loose ones you're definitely going to need to glue. So all these pieces here are for the actual discard trays. There's two different ones. You need to be very mindful that they need to be essentially mirror images of each other to nest properly. So there's the differences being in the back wall here. There's a slot here that is offset to one side. You need to have those, the slot actually offsets in the direction of the little notch here on the actual card wall or floor. And that's the same on both sides there. So we'll get to that in a second. This little thing here is the, it's a little dice tray that nests inside of these for packaging, or when you put everything back in the box. So we're gonna get started assembling that. So take one of the side walls here with one of the shorter walls, glue in the valleys, pop that thing together, and flip it upside down and do the bottom here to help get everything keyed. So glue in all the valleys and just kind of pop that on in. And then we'll do the other side. So as always, glue in the valleys. Kind of get started and then kind of work your way across. It helps get everything lined up before it really pops together. You want to make sure everything's nice and tight. So after you get it most of the way lined up, you can kind of pick it up, squeeze it all over, and see if you can snap all the different key features together. Flip it on its end, do the last one. So this one you can see just naturally wanted to taper in a little bit. So we'll start on one side, kind of get it started, align the bottom here, and then you can kind of pull the other wall out just enough to get it started. And there we go. There's the dice tray. That'll fit inside of these guys. So put that off the side for right now, and we'll get started on the first of these. So the order, or the assembly order on this is pretty critical. We're gonna first start with this. This is one of the side walls, and we can start with the little two-prong guy here. So we'll get that started in there. And then we start with the bottom, and that's going to go in these notches here. You want to have the longer cutout here without the notches towards the front of the draw tray. These are symmetrical, so it really doesn't matter which side, so just put the nicer side up. And again, glue in the valleys here, and you're just going to pop that right in those notches, kind of get it lined up. These ones going in the notches, sometimes it helps to kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit. So once you have that, we're gonna go and put the other side wall on. And it's a little bit tricky because there's a lot of notches to line up, but you just basically get it started. Again, glue in the valleys here. But you just wiggle the pieces until it gets started, and then start at one end or the other. And kind of work your way down, and the pieces should all just kind of zip together, just like that. Then we can flip it on its back. We'll do the back wall. So this back wall here, again, be mindful of the direction of the offset edge here. So what's going to happen when you're assembling the opposite side wall here is that opposite side wall is actually going to slide in here like this, and the floor will be offset slightly. So you want to make sure that this wall matches the direction of that. So since it's shifting over to the right a little bit, we need to have that offset to the right. So you want to have the etch on the inside here. And we're just going to flip that up on end. Pop it all together. Again, glue in all the values before you do that. So that's what it should look like. The etch is basically away from that notch out here, or the this notch is offset away from that notch. So put that one apart aside, and we can do the next one here. So same deal there. Let's start popping that guy in just like that. And you'll notice that this is opposite. As long as there's two Sandbox Gaming edges on the sides, those are going to be the outer sides if you've got it oriented like this, where the notches are out. So then we'll put the bottom in, pop it in, again with the little key feature in the front. Take the other side, and we're going to glue in all the values again. This is the other one where we just line it up. And get part of it lined up, and you can maneuver the other piece till it all lines up, and work your way down. Flip it on its end. And again, this is where it's critical. Now, if you did this one right, the etch should be forward on both of these, so it should be really easy to identify which one this is. But I don't have the etches, so we're just going to double check. The offset should be away from this notch here. So we're going to put this over to the side. And just kind of line everything up. Pop it all together.
So the last part of the discard tray set, when you're putting everything together, you'll place the dice inside of this box. You'll place it inside, and then you'll notice that there's these little grooves on the top here. These will kind of work their way inside of each of these ends here. And so you'll notice that this part will connect in here, and then this side will connect on a part that's in there. So I'll kind of show that first here, maybe without the box, so you can see that. So you want to turn one over and then slide it in. And then on the back, there'll be a little spot there where it connects in. So you'll see that this little spot here should just slide right in. And then when fitting the box in for the dice, when you're storing it away, it should fit nice and snug inside. And same concept. Just flip one side of them over, slide it in, and then lock it in place. And then you've got your discard tray.